Hey, I'm Simone. Thanks for joining me today. In our practice today, we're going to be working on some backbends. So grab yourself some blocks and a blanket, and I'll meet you on the mat in a moment.
So this morning, I was flipping through Instagram and I saw a friend of mine's post that said something along the lines of, in retrospect, in 2015, when asked, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" everyone got their question wrong. And I thought that was kind of funny and fitting because it speaks to our need as humans to be adaptable. And we make all kinds of elaborate plans for the future. I make them all the time, and I believe in making plans for the future. It's not like I think you should never plan. But the reality is that we actually have no idea. We have no idea what's coming in the next moment. Sunday was a perfect example of that. We all thought we were going to take this class on Sunday, and then the universe had a different plan. And our ability to adapt to whatever is being presented to us really is ultimately the mark of our resiliency. And I think that practicing adaptability is actually really important. And it's not, and I talk about this sometimes, it's not that we just like go with the flow, like, oh, whatever happens, man, it's cool, just go with the flow. I don't actually believe in that at all. But I think our ability to have a focus, to have a direction is really important. And then when something comes that forces us to reevaluate or potentially change our direction, how strongly we hold to this belief that we can only do it this way, ultimately is going to result in more suffering and failure. And so when we're presented in those situations where whatever vision we've had isn't coming into fruition, our ability to pivot, to change our focus, is really important. And I think I think we do it so well, not generally as humans, but it's not easy. I know I've had many opportunities in my life to pivot and haven't done it so easily or so gracefully, and have suffered a lot as a result of that. And every time we go through an experience like that is, of course, an opportunity for learning and growth. And right now, we're kind of in this ultimate example of this need for adaptability and this practice of resiliency. And so I'm hopeful that from this extended period of time that we're in together, that we're all going to be able to come out and hopefully be a little bit more adaptable, or at least have a little less grip on what we believe is supposed to happen. Yeah, because there's no such thing as supposed to. There's only what is. And if we can let go of, well, I was supposed to be here and I was supposed to do this, then we can be with what is. And our ability to be with what is without suffering is really the mark of a joyous life. All right, so let's go ahead and close our eyes and sit up nice and tall. And let your breath just flow naturally in and out through your nose. Letting your sitting bones root down. Feeling the crown of your head lengthen up. And the flow of your breath in and out through the nose. And just observing that flow of energy. Observing that rise and fall as you inhale and exhale. And we'll bring our hands together in front of our heart. Lengthening and lifting up through the spine as we simultaneously root down through our sitting bones. And we'll inhale here all together for the sound of a single Om. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale and release. Inhaling. And exhaling, letting your hands release back down onto your knees or your thighs, softening the muscles of your face and your forehead as you let your eyes open. All right, I'm going to show you how we're going to start this morning. So the first option is with the blocks. So I'm going to show you how to set this up with the blocks. And then if you don't have blocks, I'll show you how to set up with the blanket. So we're going to have the blocks either one on the middle height and one on the highest height, or on the lowest height and the middle height. You'll have to see what feels better in your body. I like it with the middle and the highest height in my body. And then coming to lie down on the blocks, you're going to position the first block on the lower height underneath the bottom tip of your shoulder blades. So it's catching my shoulder blades and then pressing them into the back of my body. And then the second block goes underneath your occiput, right at the back of your head. And then you can just take your arms down by your sides and keep your feet planted flat on the floor. So if you're coming into this with the blocks, you can go ahead, come on in and stay there. Close your eyes. And if you don't have the blocks, then what you're going to do is take your blanket and we'll roll the blanket up to make a roll like so. And then we're going to bring ourselves to lie over the blanket so that the blanket is right at that bottom tip of the shoulder blades, and then the top of the shoulder is on the floor. And then you can take the arms down by the sides. And again, just feet flat on the floor. And so it's taking you into a bit of a back bend, and your ribs should be popping and flaring out and up. So go ahead and come into either version with the blanket or the blocks, depending on what props you have. And we'll just acclimatize there to that back bendy shape for a few more breaths. All right. So just letting the breath flow here, not trying to do anything special. And if you need to adjust your blocks at all, adjust your blocks or your blanket. And then when you're ready, we're going to start to do some movement of the arms. So take your arms down by your side with your palms facing down. We're going to inhale, start to take the arms up and over the head. And reach back behind you, and then exhale and take the arms back down by the sides. And we'll inhale and lift, feeling the shoulder blades firm into the back of the body. And then exhale and take the arms back down by the sides. We'll just keep going with that. Trying to coordinate this movement to the breath. So you inhale to lift the arms, and you exhale to lower the arms. Inhale and lift. And exhale and lower. And bring your awareness now to your shoulder blades and see if you can really notice what the shoulder blades do as the arms lift up and over the head. You might be feeling the shoulder blades firm a little bit more into the back of the body, as if your chest could open a little bit further. And it might be quite intense for some of us. That's okay. As long as you're not having nervy pain, numbness, or tingling, or pinching at the top of your shoulder. If you're getting some pinching at the top of your shoulder, back it off a little bit. We'll just do this a couple more times. Coordinating the movement to the breath. Okay. And the next time the arms come back down by the sides, we'll stay. And if you're on your blanket, you can just roll over to the side to come up to sitting. And if you're on the blocks, then you're going to hold the two edges of your mat with your hands, press your elbows down into the floor to start to lift your chest up. Lead with your chest, go ahead, straighten your legs, and then press your hands down and come up to sitting. And then we'll take our blocks to the top two corners of our mat. Cross our ankles, tuck the feet under, or step back onto the hands and the knees. All right, and we'll just start to work through some cat and cow. So inhale, lifting the tailbone, arching through the lower into the mid, into the upper back. And exhale, tucking the tail, pushing the floor away, release the head, release the tail. And we'll just keep working through that. Inhaling to open, and exhaling to round. You can do this a couple more times. And you might have a little bit more sensation than usual in your vertebrae, sort of in between your shoulder blades where the block or the blanket was. That's okay. And then come back towards center and we'll take it side to side. So right shoulder towards right hip, and then over to the left. And we'll just go back and forth a couple times. Good, and then we'll come back to center and we'll start to do circles. So taking it over to the left, puffing up through the back, over to the right, down through the center. And then we'll go ahead and switch directions. And then we'll come back to center. Take the feet together, take the knees wide, taking the left hand towards the middle of the mat. Inhale, peel the right arm up. And then exhale, we'll take that through, rotate through the spine. Inhale and lift. And exhale and take that through. And we'll keep going with that a few more times. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling to take it through. Good, one more like that. And then we'll come back up and switch sides. So taking the right hand forwards, inhale, lifting the left arm, and exhale, take it through. And inhale and lift, and exhale and take it through. Inhale and lift, keep going. Exhale and through. And inhale and lift, and exhale and through. Last time. And then we'll come back onto the hands and the knees, bringing the knees back to about hip distance apart. Take your hands maybe a tiny bit further forwards, toes tucked under, lift the knees a couple inches off the floor, keeping the knees bent, start to lift the hips up and back, come into your first downward facing dog. Sitting bones lift high, pushing the floor away, sending your chest towards your thighs. And then go ahead and straighten the right leg. You bend into the left knee. Pause and breathe there. And then we'll switch sides. We'll just go back and forth a couple more times. Pedaling the feet out and breathing as if you could breathe all the way down to the base of your heel. And we'll lift both the heels up high, push the floor away, lifting the right leg up and back, stepping that right foot forward through your hands. Come down onto the left knee. Of course, if you need something under the knee, take your blanket. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Holding your left wrist lifted up, take it over to the right. Firming the belly in, trying to puff up the lower back ribs. And then inhale as you come back up to center, release the wrist, keep the arms lifted. Exhale, rotate to the right. You could even take the back of the left hand to the outside of the right knee and reach that right arm back behind you. And then we'll inhale, come back to center, lift the arms up. Then exhale, open the arms out to the sides, send them back and down, lifting the center of the chest, any amount. And then we'll exhale, take the hands to the floor, the blocks on either side of the front foot, making the lunge a little longer. Inhale to peel the chest open. And exhale to hinge back. And we'll just work through that a few times. Inhale forwards, exhale back. Inhale forwards, exhale back. And you could even close your eyes here. It doesn't matter how far you go in either direction, just letting the hips move. And then the next time we come forwards, we'll stay. Take the hands to the inside of your front foot. Heel toe that foot a tiny bit out to the side. Turn the foot and thigh out at 45 degrees. Walk the hands out to the sides, and then you can rock side to side. And then we'll go ahead and make little circles into the hips. Making sure the movement's coming from the hips and not from the ankle. And then we'll come back towards center. Walk the hands back in. Point your right toes straight ahead now. Take your blocks for underneath your hands and then start to straighten out your back leg. Drawing your thigh bones in towards your hip sockets. Inhale as you start to peel the right arm up. And then exhale, take the right arm down. Inhale, peel the left arm up. Exhale, take the left arm down. Inhale, again, peel the right arm. And then exhale, right arm down. Inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, down. One more time, either side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, left arm. And exhale, down. Put the blocks to the side, step back, and come to downward facing dog. Inhale as you come forwards into plank and pause. Press out into the fingertips, take the knees to the floor, and then exhale as the elbows bend. Inhale as you straighten, and exhale as you hinge back. And we'll just work through that a few times. Inhaling forwards, exhale to bend, inhale to straighten, and exhale to hinge back. Generating this movement from your hips. And then we'll come all the way down onto the belly. Reach the arms out over your head. Make yourself as long as you can. And then start to peel the chest open, lengthen the spine forwards. Draw the hands back and find your W-shaped arm position. Sweep the arms back by the hips. And then butterfly to the front. And W arms, sweep them back. Butterfly to the front. And we'll just do that a couple more times. Try to keep the hands above the elbows the whole time. right, last one. And then we'll exhale and release. Take a big breath into your belly. Press back through a child's pose. And then we'll lift up and back to downward facing dog. Lifting the left leg up and back. Step that left foot forwards through the hands. Come down onto the right knee. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Low lunge, holding the right wrist. Lift it up, take it over to the left. Trying to firm the belly in any amount. Inhale as you come back up to center. Release the wrist, keep the arms lifted. Exhale, rotate to the left. Maybe taking the back of the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Reach that left arm back behind you. And then inhale as you come back up to center. Exhale, open the arms wide. Draw them back and down as you lift the chest up. And then we'll exhale, take the hands down to the floor, the blocks on either side of the front foot. Make your lunge a little longer. Inhale, hinging forwards, chest open. And exhale, hinging back. And just working through that. Inhale forwards, exhale back. Inhale forwards, and exhale back. Keep working through that a couple more times, generating the movement from the hips. This is really all about hip hinging. And then the next time you come forwards, we'll stay. Take the hands to the inside of the foot. Heel toe the foot a little bit out to the side, turning the foot inside at 45 degrees, walking the hands out to the sides, and now rocking side to side. And then we'll go ahead and make little circles into the hips. And then switching directions. And then walking the hands back in, pointing the toes of the left foot straight ahead. Taking the blocks for underneath the hands, start to straighten out your back leg. Draw your thigh bones in towards your hip sockets. Inhale, start to peel the left arm up. And then exhale, left arm down. Inhale, right arm lifts. And exhale, right arm down. Inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, down. Inhale, right arm lifts. Exhale, down. One more time, either side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right hand down, put the blocks to the side, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forwards to plank and pause. Press out into the fingertips, knees to the floor. Exhale, elbows bend. Inhale to straighten, and exhale to hinge back. Good, and just working through that a bunch of times. Press out into the fingertips. Each time the elbows bend. And then the next time you come forward, we'll come all the way down onto the belly. Reach the arms out over your head. Make yourself as long as you can. Start to peel the chest open. Draw the hands back. Find your W-shaped arm position. Sweep the arms back by the hips. And then we'll butterfly to the front. In W shape, hands back. And butterfly to the front. And we'll keep going. A couple more times. Trying to keep the hands above the elbows the whole time. Good. And then the next time you come forwards, we'll exhale and release. Take a big breath into the belly. Press back through your child's pose. And then we'll lift up and back to downward facing dog. Bending the knees deeply, look towards your hands, step or walk your feet forwards. Taking your hands to your shins, inhale, peel the chest open, finding your neutral spine. And exhale as you fold over your thighs. Inhale to come all the way up to standing, arms lift, chest lift, lengthen, look up. And exhaling, Samasthiti. Inhale, floating the arms up. And exhale as you hinge and fold over the hips. Inhale as you peel the chest open, long spine. Exhale as you step the right foot back. Come down onto the right knee, point the right toes. Inhale and sweep the arms up. And then exhale, take the hands down, stepping back, downward dog. Inhale as you come forwards into plank and pause. Exhale to lower it from the toes or the knees all the way to the belly. Inhale, baby cobra, peel the chest open, lift the hands, firm the elbows in, draw the hands back. And then we'll exhale to release. Press up and back, downward dog. Lifting the right leg up and back, stepping the right foot forwards through the hands. Step the left foot forwards to meet it. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Inhale all the way up to standing, arms lift, chest lifts, look up. And right away, hinge and fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, stepping the left foot back. Coming down onto the left knee, point the left toes. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, take the hands down, stepping back, downward dog. Coming into that slightly longer downward dog, keeping the gaze towards the back of the mat as you start to shift the body weight forwards. Coming to the tips of the toes, and then over the toes, slowly releasing the hips. Push the floor away, upward facing dog. Tuck the chin, scoop the belly in, downward facing dog. Slowly again coming forwards, hips are high, push the floor away, come to the tips of the toes, over the toes, slowly release the hips, head lifts last, chin tucks, belly scoops, downward dog. Left leg lifts up and back, stepping the left foot forwards through the hands, step the right foot forwards to meet it. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Inhaling, coming all the way up to standing, arms lift, chest lifts, look up. And exhaling, Samasthiti. Let's bring the hands together in front of the heart for a moment, close the eyes. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale and release. One more, inhale. Exhale and release. Releasing the arms, open the eyes. Inhale, bend your knees, sit low. Arms lift, Utkatasana. And then exhale as you hinge and fold. Inhale, lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana, chest open. Exhale, stepping back, downward dog or vinyasa, your choice. And then lifting the right leg up and back. Step that right foot forwards through your hands. Inhale, sweep the arms up, high lunge. Holding the left wrist lifted up, take it over towards the right. Trying to firm the belly in and puff up the lower back ribs. And then inhale as you come back up to center, release the wrist, keep the arms lifted, exhale, rotate open to the right. Inhale, back up to center. And then exhale, open the arms wide, lift the chest. And then exhale, arms lift back up. One more breath, exhale, bend the elbows, find that W-shaped arm position, try to send the hands back, elbows forwards. And then we'll exhale, take the hands down, stepping back, downward dog or vinyasa, your choice. Lifting the left leg up and back. Step the left foot forwards through the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms up, high lunge. Holding the right wrist lifted up, take it over to the left. Trying to firm the belly in, puff up the lower back ribs. Inhale as you come back up to center, release the wrist, keep the arms lifted. Exhale, rotate, open to the left. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, open the arms wide, lift the center of the chest. And then exhale, arms lift. And then last breath, elbows bend, draw the hands back, elbows forwards. And then exhale, release hands down, stepping back, downward dog or vinyasa, your choice. Good. We'll take a couple breaths here in our downward dog. Keep drawing the sitting bones up and back, sending the top of the shin bone forwards. The heels are moving in the direction towards the floor, but they might not touch. That's totally fine. And then we'll bend the knees deep, look towards the hands. Step walk or float the feet forwards. Inhale and lengthen, peel the chest open. And exhale, fold over your thighs. Inhale as you bend your knees, sit low, arms lift. Utkatasana and Samasthiti. Inhale, bending the knees, sit low, Utkatasana, sticking out the butt, reach through the fingertips. Exhale as you hinge and fold. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, stepping back, downward dog or vinyasa, your choice. And then lifting the right leg up and back. Step the right foot forwards through the hands. Take a block towards the outside of the right ankle if you have it. Left heel down on the floor. Leaning with the left arm, standing right up into Virabhadrasana, warrior B. Draw your thigh bones into your hip sockets. Feel some containment through the lower belly. Reaching out through the arms, but softening through the shoulders. Let's actually rotate the palms to face up and reach the arms slightly back behind us. Potentially bringing some sensation, some stretch into the front of the chest. Gaze is wherever feels good for your neck. And then we'll straighten the front leg, lift the arms up and over the head, hook the thumbs. You can go ahead and make the stance a little shorter by heel toeing that back foot in it. And then hinging from your hips, draw that right hip back, left hip comes forwards, reach for the front of your mat. Spin the chest up, release the hook of the thumbs. Find your block at whatever height works for you. Keep lengthening that right hip back, left hip comes forwards. Being in your Trikonasana. We're going to rotate through that top arm, reach the arm back behind you, finding the lower back, waist, or hip. Keep drawing that hip back. Lengthening the breastbone forwards. Breathing in and out through the nose. All right, we're going to start to bend into our right knee. You can heel toe your back foot in a tiny bit more. Take your block out in front of you and then shift your body weight forwards, fingertips to the block, standing up into your Ardha Chandrasana. Good. Keep drawing that right hip back. Trying to lengthen your breastbone forwards. And then if you feel stable, you could reach that left arm back up towards the ceiling. And then keep your left arm lifted, but start to bend your left knee and squeeze your left foot in towards your buttocks. Really trying to use the muscles in the back of your leg to get that foot in. And then we'll straighten out the leg. Reach way back, land in Virabhadrasana B as lightly as you can. Straighten the front leg, inhale, lift the arms. And then exhale, take the hands down, stepping back. Downward dog or vinyasa, your choice. Lifting the left leg up and back. Stepping the left foot forwards through the hands. Taking a block to the outside of the left ankle. Put your right heel down on the floor, leading with your right arm. Standing right up into Virabhadrasana B. And gaze is wherever feels comfortable for your neck. Rotate your palms to face up today and reach the arms just back behind you slightly. Breathing deeply. And then we'll straighten the front leg, lift the arms up, hook your thumbs. You can heel toe your back foot in a tiny bit and then hinging from your hips, draw the left hip back, right hip comes forwards, reach for the front of the mat. Spin the chest up, release the hook of the thumbs, finding your block. Really trying to lengthen that left side of your waist. So drawing the left hip back, trying to send your breastbone forwards. And then we'll rotate through the right shoulder, reach the right arm back behind you, finding your lower back, waist, or hip. Keep drawing that back as you lengthen the breastbone forwards. Taking the gaze down towards the floor if it's not already there, starting to bend into your left knee. Take your block out in front of you. You can heel toe your back foot in a tiny bit. Shifting the body weight forwards. Standing up into your left leg. Reach back through your right leg. Aiming to get the thigh parallel to the floor. Good, and then if you feel stable, starting to lift that right arm up. Good, keep the right arm lifted, bend your right knee and bring that right foot in, but use your muscles. Try to squeeze your glutes, squeeze your hamstrings, the back of the thigh. One more breath. And then we'll straighten out the leg, reach way back and land in our Virabhadrasana beat. Inhale to straighten the front leg, arms lift. And then exhale as the hands come down, stepping back, downward dog or vinyasa, your choice. And we'll lift the right leg up and back. Step the right foot forwards through the hands. Take your blocks, both of them now, out to their highest height out in front of you. And then just step your back foot in a tiny bit. We're gonna stand right up here into a Virabhadrasana 3 shape. So fingertips are on the blocks. Back leg is lifted. And then bend your back knee, bring your foot in. Try to drop that outer left hip towards the floor, but lift the foot and the thigh up towards the ceiling. See if you can create some engagement in the muscles in the back of the leg. Good, one more breath there. And then we're gonna straighten up that leg, reach way back, land in a high lunge, arms lift. And then take the back knee to the floor. If you need your blanket for underneath your knee, it's fine, take your blanket there. Taking the right hand to that right hip crease, inhale, lengthen. And then exhale to twist. Either taking the back of the hand to the outside of the knee or crossing the elbow over the thigh. Taking the hands now into a prayer position. Lengthen your breastbone towards the front of your mat. And then slowly start to tuck your back toes under, straightening out your back leg. Good. Sending your breastbone forwards, breathing as if you can breathe into the lower back ribs. And then we'll exhale, slowly release. Come down onto the back knee. Grab your blocks, heel toe your front foot out to the side a little bit. If you don't have blocks here, then use whatever you have to have a little bit of height underneath your hands. And then we're gonna actually start to make that lunge a little longer. So you wanna move into this stretch. You wanna feel this hopefully at the front of the back thigh. If you need to kind of move around a little bit before you come in, that's fine. If you're having any pinching in front of your right hip, you might need to move that a tiny bit before you come in. And then start to let your hips release, but we're looking for like a 3 or 4, maybe a 5 out of 10 in terms of intensity. So we're gonna stay here for about a minute. Breathing deeply. Not looking for super intensity. We're looking for the ability to stay. So if you come in too intense, then you'll need to back off. But if you come in at the right intensity, then you'll be able to slowly with time go a little deeper. Good, we're about halfway. Keep breathing and see if you can allow your body to soften into it. Good. And then we'll slowly start to make our way back up. So lift your hips up. You can take your blocks just down for a second, step back. So you're on both your knees, and then you can make your way to downward facing dog. And then just pause in downward dog for a couple breaths and feel the effects of that in your body. And then if you'd like to take a vinyasa, you can. You certainly don't have to. And then we'll lift the left leg up and back. Step the left foot forwards through the hands. Take your blocks out in front of you to their highest height. Step your back foot in a tiny bit and then float that back leg up. Trying to get your thigh and your torso parallel to the floor. Drop that outer right hip down. And then see if you can bend the right knee, bring the foot in towards the buttocks, and then without lifting the hip, lift the whole leg up. Breathing there, squeeze it in. Find those hamstrings. Use your glutes. Lift, lift, lift. And then we'll slowly straighten out the leg, reach way back. Land in your high lunge, arms lift. And then back knee comes to the floor. Taking your left hand to your left hip crease, press that thigh bone down and away. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale to find your twist. So either bringing the back of the hand to the outside of the knee or crossing the arm over the thigh, taking the hands into a prayer position. And then maybe working that back leg towards straight. Trying to breathe into your lower back ribs. Keep drawing that left thigh bone back. Send your breastbone forwards. And then we'll exhale and release. You're gonna take the hands down, come down onto your back knee. You can just release that for a moment or do a couple of hinges here to release any pressure in that front thigh. And then grab your blocks, take your blocks to the inside of your front foot, heel toe that front foot out to the side. And then we'll start to move towards this more yin lunge stretch. And if you need to move that front leg around, move your hips, that's fine. And then we'll slowly start to settle into it. Remember, we're looking for that 3 to 5 out of 10. Breathing deeply. Even closing your eyes, see if you can soften into it. Good, we're about halfway. And with each exhalation, see if you can soften a little bit more. And a little bit more. Good, and then we'll slowly start to make our way back out. You step the left foot back, put your blocks to the side. And then we'll lift up and back to downward dog and just pause there in your downward dog for a couple breaths and experience sensation in your body, whatever there is. And then if you'd like to take a vinyasa, you can. You don't have to. And then we'll bring our knees down to the floor and sit up on our shins. And if sitting on your shins isn't comfortable for you, then feel free to sit in any shape that is comfortable. If this is too intense in your knees, that's fine. You're more than welcome to sit cross-legged. But wherever you are, you're sitting up nice and tall. So the sitting bones are rooting down, spine is lengthening up. Take one of your blocks to its middle height behind you. And then we'll reach the arms out to the sides. Reach back and reach down and reach back and reach down, and then rotate through the shoulders. See if you can interlock your hands behind your back and then press the palms of your hands into the block. Straighten your arms and lift your chest up. Now, if you don't have a block, you're just pressing the arms, the palms of the hands away from you and lifting the chest up. So drawing the shoulder blades into the back. The head might lift slightly, it might not. It doesn't really matter. We're more focused on thoracic spine here. Good. Just taking a couple breaths there. And then we'll slowly release. Good. Coming up onto your knees. Tuck your toes under. Bring your knees hip distance apart. If you have your blocks, take your blocks to the outsides of your ankles. And then we're going to take the hands to the lower ribs, to the very lowest ribs, your floating ribs. And from here, I want you to see if you can lift them up and then draw them in a little bit. Start to send your hips forward slightly, and then move to the next rib and lift it up, and then see if you can draw it in. And then go one more higher, lift up, and draw in, and then it's like you're folding up and over this imaginary bar at the very bottom of your rib cage. Keep lifting up and over, and then you could take your hands back, see if you can find your blocks. Hips go forwards, chest lifts up, maybe the head goes back slightly. Breathing there. Keep lifting the chest like you're trying to press your breastbone up into the ceiling. And then we'll exhale, release, and come down, untuck your toes. You can sit back on your shins for a moment. We're going to do this one more time. You're welcome to do it with the blocks again. Or if you feel like your back would like to go a little bit deeper, you can take your hands to your heels. And when you take your hands to your heels, you can either do it with your toes tucked under or your feet pressing flat into the floor. Having the feet in this shape is going to be a little bit deeper of a back bend. So it's up to you what feels better for your body this morning. So starting with your hands again on those lowest floating ribs, lift them up and in, send the hips forwards. And then go to the next set of ribs and try to lift up and in, and hips forwards, and the next set up and in, like you're trying to create a rainbow effect with your spine, making that back bend as even as possible. And then the hands come back, finding your heels or your blocks, and then maybe the head lifts, but the breastbone lifts, the hips go forwards, breathing there, lengthening, lengthening, lengthening as you lift. One more breath. And then we'll slowly come back up and sit back onto your heels. Good. Just close your eyes there for a couple breaths. Your palms can rest on your thighs. Palms face up or down, whatever feels better for you. All right, letting the eyes open. Take the right arm up over your head. Rotate that palm so it's facing towards the back wall behind you, and then bend your right elbow. Send your hand down your back. Hold your right elbow with your left hand, and then see if you can draw that in a little deeper. See if you can actually keep your lower ribs down. So we're not doing a back bend here. We're trying to open up this armpit, but without going into a back bend. So what that looks like, so if we were doing a back bend, it would look like this. Yeah, my ribs pop up and out. But if I can contain my ribs, then I'm going to actually create much more opening into the armpit. Good. And then we'll straighten out the right arm and exhale and release. And then we'll do the other side. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Rotate through that left shoulder so the palm is facing the wall behind you. Bend the elbow. Send the hand down the back. Hold the left elbow with the right hand. Firm it in any amount, but then can we contain through the ribs? Keep that engagement there so that we are really just opening the armpit. We're not doing the back bend. Good. Taking a couple more breaths. And then we'll straighten out that arm and exhale and release. You can give the shoulders a little roll in either direction. And then we're going to make our way onto our back. So come and lie down on your back. Bending your knees, plant your feet flat on the floor, lining up your outer heels and your outer hips. And then taking your hands to the tops of your thighs, right at your hip creases, press the thigh bone down and away and lengthen the side of your waist. And then go ahead, inhale, start to lift your hips up. Use your glutes, squeeze your glutes to lift. And then once your arms are lifted, release your arms. Walk your shoulders a little closer towards each other, interlock your fingers, and press the arms down. Lift the hips up. That's it. Breathing there. Use your hamstrings, use your glutes, squeeze to lift. One more breath. And then releasing the interlock of the hands, slowly come all the way back down onto the back. Hands to the belly, take a big breath into the belly. And exhale and release. Good, we're gonna do one more back bend. I'm gonna talk you through the full Urdhva Dhanurasana, full wheel pose. If you prefer to stick with the bridge pose, that's totally fine. It's up to you. You need to do what feels best in your body. But I'll take you through the stages of wheel so you can also work to whatever stage you're able to do right now. Okay, so take your hands to the tops of your thighs. So we're coming in the same way as bridge. Press that away, lengthen the sides of the waist. Keep that pressure there as you use your glutes to start to lift your hips up. Good, now if you're coming into bridge, you'll release your hands, take your hands to the floor. If you're coming into wheel, lift your arms straight up towards the ceiling, keep using your glutes to lift. So the glutes need to be really strong to do this. Drop the shoulder blades to the floor, bend the elbows, take the hands to the outer aspects of your ears. Pinky fingers point out slightly. Now you really need to press down into the hands, use your glutes, come to the crown of your head. From here, try to draw your elbows in towards each other. Maybe then you can press down and lift a little higher, maybe all the way up. Good, pushing the floor away. Keep using your hamstring, use your glutes to lift. And then to come down, you're gonna tuck your chin, coming down to the back of the head, back of the torso, all the way down and release. Big breath into the belly, close your eyes and soften. Good, we'll lift the hips up, take the hips over to the left, take the knees to the right, just taking a gentle twist here through the spine. Letting the whole body just soften into that. And consciously choosing to release whatever tension is there in your body, your back, your shoulders, your chest. Let it go. Whatever you can let go, let go. Good, and then we'll slowly come back to center. Take the hips over to the right, take the knees to the left. Gentle twist in the opposite direction. And letting the whole body again just melt and release into the floor. And we'll slowly come back, rolling over to the right side to make our way up towards sitting. And then come and sit up on your blanket. And you might, if the backs of your legs are more restricted, you might want to have a little bit more height. If the backs of the legs are a little bit longer, then you could have a little less height. But come and sit up on your blanket so you have some height here. And then having your blocks, if you don't have blocks, grab some cushions from your couch or something, because I want to do a yin version of a forward bend here. So you have two options. The first one is going to be to have the legs a little bit apart, and then you stack your blocks like so your forehead can rest on your blocks. Or you could bring your legs together, stack your blocks or your cushions on your thighs, and bring your forehead here. Okay, so your choice, whatever feels better for you. I like to have my legs a little bit apart, but it's up to you. But we'll start sitting up nice and tall. Flex your ankles whatever position your legs are in. Spine is long. Good, and then we'll just start to walk the hands forwards, any amount, and then position your blocks accordingly so your forehead can rest on your block. And we're looking for, again, that sort of 3 or 4, maybe a 5. Your spine's going to round, that's fine. And you might find that as you stay, you might be able to take your blocks to a lower height. Keep your legs active. Hands can be out to the sides or resting on your thighs or holding the blocks. Breathing in and out through the nose. And letting the body soften down. We're going to stay for about another 30 seconds or so. And then we'll slowly start to come back up. Sitting up nice and tall, putting your blocks to the side, and then making your way down onto your back. Have your blanket handy as you come to lie down. If there's any final movements you need before your Shavasana, feel free to take them now. Otherwise, starting to straighten out your legs, take your arms out to the sides, and just let your whole body start to become heavy. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose, and exhale, release. Maybe there's some sound you want to make, that's fine. Feel free to make sound with your breath. Releasing tension. Letting the body be heavy. Melting down into the floor. Good. Taking the next few minutes to absorb the benefits of your practice. And please feel free to stay here for as long as you'd like, as long as feels good for you in your body this morning. In a moment, I'm going to stop the video, but I encourage you to stay here a little longer. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. And sending the benefits of our practice out to all the beings in the world. Namaste.